Well, well. Miko would invite you inside for tea, but I assume this is not a social visit. You have some matters of import to discuss. Then pray proceed. You have my full attention. So we want to go to hell, and we think it's a good idea if you back us on this idea.
We would like your support in our petition to travel to hell. Please and thank you.
Well, I suppose I should praise you for following the proper protocols this time around. Scholar expressed much the same sentiment. I assure you, will not attempt to circumvent the forum authority again, unless it is absolutely necessary, of course. Of course. You do understand that the restricted archives are restricted for good reason, yes? If no pressing needs exist, then why risk the consequence of employing this forbidden knowledge?
Bitch, because we want to.
For a brother who misses his sister, she was his guardian and his friend. A selfless hero who crossed the rift between worlds to save her homeland from horror and suffering. But the brother has given up on thoughts of reunion. He spends his efforts elsewhere, watching over a people yet healing from the flames of the final days, loyal to his duty while betraying the longing in his heart. There's no vital mission, perhaps, reuniting these siblings, but it feels a worthy cause to pursue, all the same. As one who feared losing his own loved ones and spent years in research to prevent it, surely you appreciate how painful such a separation must be. Damn, threw the kids at you. Reflections are still very much a mystery to us. Offering to share your experience in the first should constitute a fair exchange for our cooperation. Do not celebrate just yet. The form still must be convinced. I will add your request to the list of today's deliberations and deliver the discussion to you at the Baldician Annex.
Oh my god. Rude.
Alright. Now that we've gotten a nice tour of Charlian again, there were some blue quests. Oh, no.
Oh no.
I saw the Wandering Minstrel.
Ah, you know you want to visit him. You know he is your favorite.
And something called a mission in Mordona? I don't know. I feel like we're just heading. So how many voices are we going to kill? So, what did the form decide? To put it bluntly, Master Matoya has burned some bridges here in Charlian and salted the earth for good measure. When it becomes clear that her student was the petitioner in question, well, no few members voiced their discontent. Then the chamber was reminded, in no uncertain terms, I might add, of the incredible debt we owe you and your companions. That served to silence the grumbles and stiffen a few spines, and it was agreed that allowing you entry into the archives was the least we can do in return. That is wonderful news. Thank you both for speaking on our behalf. Yes, well, as I am sure you are aware, this permission was not extended lightly. Forbidden knowledge is to be treated with the utmost caution, and there will be repercussions if it is not. I wish you well in your endeavors, and bid you good day.
Good day.
I said good day. Ever the same, that one. Uncompromising, aye, but that very stoicism is exactly what Charlene needed to guide it through not one, but two Exodus. That went rather well, I think. As a child, I dreamed up any number of schemes for getting my hands on those forbidden tomes, and now I can simply walk in through the door. Our focus will be finding House Demir's research notes, of course, but the thought of so much knowledge at my disposal has me feeling a little giddy. You'll be heading directly to the archives from here, I presume. You presume correctly. Then you'll want to speak with the index page when you arrive. It's been instructed to grant you access to the restricted section. Excellent. Once again, we thank you for all your help. Oh, it was my pleasure, believe me. May you find the knowledge you seek. Shall we? Yay, the day we just stole it continues. I'm actually kind of excited. I'm wondering what we're going to find. A pudding way. Do you think the set of instructions I laughingly imagine may actually exist but yawns away from where you found me napping? If I had known of Alpha III's exploits sooner, I will have saved myself days of research. Even a children's book might have pointed me in the right direction. To achieve the impossible, one must needs be flexible of mind and look beyond conventional wisdom. A lesson I had already learned, but clearly not taken to heart. Archon Yastola and guest identified. Do you wish to proceed into the restricted archives? Follow me if you would. Watch your step, and please note that the use of naked flames is discouraged.
As long as your flames have clothes, you're fine.
Yeah. As long as flames have... Oh, hold up.
I swear, Ishtola's boots are enough to give a girl a foot fetish.
If House Demir's notes are to be found anywhere, it will be here. Let us begin.
Alright. So many books I've yet to read. Yes, we are here for one specific volume. You need to remind me. I like how they did like this kind of remix of Gabul Library. Dig it.
Oh, musically?
Yeah. Today, in a world not my own, I met the most beautiful void-born creature. She was so unlike her ravenous brethren, eyes blazing not with hunger, but trembling like a candle's flame, threatening to flicker out at any moment. Oh God. Wanna know what the top of this says? Untitled Goldsmith's Journal. Do you know whose journal this is?
No.
Hildebrand's dad.
Oh, that checks. Yeah. It's kind of amazing.
I wonder if she is even in the proper word. Such distinction seems inconsequential, insignificant even. All that matters is the love I feel for this exquisite, transcendent being. Though you're tempted to read more, this does not seem to be the volume you're seeking. No, I want to know about Hildebrand's dad's marriage.
Right? That seems like an interesting story.
In the year 1564 of the 6th Astral Era, the Amachi summoned Ifrit, their patron god. Accounts describe the being as a gigantic, lizard-like being with a potent command of fire-aspected magics. If we consider the primal summoning as an act fueled by faith and prayer, it is unsurprising, if not expected, that the resulting deiform entity should manifest the appearance and powers with which it is attributed by its worshippers. What then might emerge from the aether should one who believes in an almighty, omniscient attempt of the same ritual? Would the scholar himself grace us with his presence? Some other embodiment of divine sanctity? Could this man-made God truly be all-knowing? And if it were, whence would such knowledge arise? I myself have many questions concerning the nature of the ancient world. With no spell to transport me back to the days of old, could I instead summon a being possessed of encyclopedic wisdom of every age, yet with no means to verify its pronouncements? How could one be certain they were true? Though your mind spins with the possibility discussed therein, this does not seem to be the volume you are seeking. The following pages detail an advanced method of manipulating rift-spanning apertures as devised by Nujashan, the ninth patriarch of House Demir. We present these research notes to the facilities of Charlian Studium as both a token of our friendship and an expression of our boundless admiration. You appear to have located the forbidden volume you seek. Shola will need to make the final confirmation. Having something you'd like to show me, do you? My apologies. I flipped open a single book and was completely absorbed by its contents. Well done, Vamron. I think you may have found our prize.
Yes, the ether signature is unmistakable. I've felt the traces of House Damir's resonance many times at the Great Work. Time to see what all the fuss was about.
Hedros.
Among the ranks of the Void Sent, there exist entities with the power to call forth their brethren from beyond.
Chicken or chicken
The
and
species
spinach?
known as Atomos, however, is uniquely prodigious in this regard. From its distended maw, it can expel an endless procession of void-born creatures, a talent which sorely tested the Radiant Host in its battles against these abominations. Surmising that the entity itself was acting as a void gate, we endeavored to capture a small specimen and subsequently examine its physiological structure. Our findings revealed that the Atomos had absorbed a planar fissure into its own flesh, which it could expand at will into a functioning gate. Upon further analysis, we identified an ethereal wave pattern emitted during this process. A pattern we were able to emulate by passing crystal-stored ether through a specially designed prism. We proceeded to embed said prism into an arcane simulacrum, thus completing what we have dubbed our artificial Atomos. How could I have been so blind to the possibilities? This species, not to mention its ability to summon Void Sent, has been discussed among academics for years now. Just before the advent of the 7th Umbral Calamity, we received reports of Atomos sightings from every corner of Eorzea. Surely you've at least heard the tales. And still, House Daemir went and built a mock Atomos of their very own. I'm not surprised the Archons consigned their work to a restricted archive. It was no easy task, but at last we've unearthed the volume we've been searching for. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted to stay longer. See what other forbidden titles might be lurking on these shelves.
Really interesting one about a goldsmith.
But that would be abusing the very special privilege we've been granted now, wouldn't it? Better not.
Ah, so many entries. As much as I would love to start crafting that, I'm afraid this is far outside my field of expertise. Fortunately, we know a Hamish alchemist who would be delighted to involve herself in our House Demir project. Our business here is concluded for the moment. Please pass on our regards to the fort. Your message will be conveyed. Should you wish to indulge in more forbidden literature, I will be here. Patron mode disabled. Security mode engaged. If anyone can help us, then Hana can. I say we return to Thavnir and look for her at the great work. And back to Thavnir. I've spent so much money traveling back and forth to these two places. Your story tells me you are pursuing a most fascinating study, and that you would want me to be part of it. I have no doubt you would be interested. This research log should speak for itself. Will it now? I mean, don't open it up in the rain. By the sisters, this is the mark of House Demir. I never even knew such a work existed. Few should. It was separated in Narunon, restricted archives after all. It was, but that means every word within is forbidden knowledge. A forbidden tome filled with forbidden research, and you put it right into my unsuspecting hand? I can hardly wait to read it. Baby, I feel like that was you just now.
I wasn't paying attention. I was ordering ice cream to go with our Mexican food. I was in fat kid mode. All I heard was, I can't wait to read it.
Pretty much. You mean you got me this illegal book from an illegal section, and you put it right into my hands?
Oh no, I'm 100% going to read that damn thing. That's like giving me gold and being like, if you would like this, you can spend it however you please. Yes, please. Illegal knowledge, please.
To think the Demir was developing such marvelous techniques so long ago. How many innovations have been lost over the centuries, I wonder? Now that you've glanced over the notes, what say you to help us build a new mock Atomos? I say yes, 1,000 times yes. Work on a Demir project that had never even the redoubled scholars of Charlian trembled in their sandals. No alchemist of the great work could resist. You are a woman after my own heart. Oh, I suppose I should ask you, what do you think to do with this big-mouthed Similarium once we built it? Go to hell. Kill a few things. So, there's a secret void gate, and it's sealed in the ruins of the bottom of the bounty. Today is a day of revelations indeed. If the purpose of our man-made Atomos is to expand this hidden portal, then I will need to see it for myself. I think. Manipulating rift-spanning apertures is not the sort of things you want to attempt without first taking into account every single factor. Then by all means, accompany us to the vault. I plan to lead us back there shortly, once we finish gathering the components I require. Charlene's market provided the raw aquamarine and pure water crystals, but I might also need help obtaining a small quantity of astrally infused water. For such a liquid, you need go no further than the Fountain Maya. The ascetics of old once favored the place for their meditation, and the water which pools there now is known to enliven the flow of aether. That sounds perfect. If you would be so kind as to fill a flask at the pool, I will petition Vitra to join us. The idea I have in mind won't amount to much without his authority to command the Void Gate. Shall we be about it then? We meet back here anon.
Your elbow?
Yeah, that was my elbow. Giraffe. Astrally dense pocket.
Sounds rude as hell. New insult. You astrally dense pocket.
Yay, Porksy.
Oh, Packers.
Do you have that flask for me? Here you go. Yes, this should suffice. Thank you, Vamron. Spells. I guess spell speed. I'm eager to depart for the vault. Look who I came across. Asena seemed in need of diversion, and we, in turn, may have need of his lance. Right then, now that our little party is assembled, let us make our way to the ruins. We will have need of Masio's boat again. Not this time. Once Justola informed me of our destination, I arranged for a vessel to be made ready at Akilo. Your Excellency is ever the gracious host, shall we? I could have teleported there, but I really like this hand. So, meh. The ship is yours to command. Our thanks. We set sail at once. Oh, this is so exciting. Azadal's legacy, to see the truth of a legend with my own eyes. All aboard for the treasure vault.
The ruins alone were impressive enough, but I never dreamed such a treasure lay hidden in the depths of the bounty. It may have been helpful to know this device existed, Your Excellency.
My apologies. The gate was a secret I shared with none but my closest advisors. I feared for what might happen should those with ill intentions learn of its existence.
What is it you're doing now?
There's
Summoning a
something I wish
demon.
to verify. The NOAA reports claim that a short stint into the void carries little risk of etheric imbalance. Should one suffer an injury, however, or if one's expedition drags on longer than intended, that risk becomes significantly greater. Graha theorized that a warding scale would confer protection from the void's corrupting influence. But I would prefer to test that hypothesis before we set foot in the 13th ourselves.
So, this is an experiment of sorts.
Yes, an experiment. Tell me, how would you go about testing the efficacy of the warding scale?
Say nothing and look meaningfully at Estinian. Maybe send a familiar?
Very good. I see you've been paying attention. As Vritra sent his simulacrum, so too shall we rely on a familiar to bear the brunt of any unpleasant consequences. Now, a lowly imp can navigate a fissure, no matter how narrow. Which means an arcane entity of similar stature should be able to manage the same. I hadn't wanted it to come to this, but no other familiars will do, I'm afraid.
I mislike the sound of that. What manner of fiend does she mean to summon?
From ocean rise and cloudbank form, from mountain spring and rainfall storm, from river flow and life be born. Water, water, froth and foam!
Ready your arms. I fear she's been possessed.
Oh, come now. That was adorable.
Loves them so much.
Though not my first choice. These familiars I conceived of as a child have the best chance of fitting through the gate. I only wish my younger self had considered a more dignified ending to the creation ritual. In any case, these two should serve us well. This one will bear a warding scale. And when they return from the 13th, we can observe how the talisman, or absence thereof, has affected the progress of the Void's corruption. If I could impose upon you to open the gate. Your Excellency?
Ah, yes, of course.
We should also be wary of void scent slipping through while we conduct our experiment. Estinian, you are to keep Nadana safe from harm.
As you say.
You had best be on your guard as well.
Froth and foam.
Oh, are you volunteering to join the Nixies? I could shrink you down, you know. Let us begin, shall we? Nixies, into the void.
Every time I come here, it reminds me of that dark portal above the Crystal Tower, and the final lash of Ajo's tail as she plunged into the void. Sister, save me. I will never see Justola the same way again. Froth and foam indeed. Huh? I struggled to picture Justola as a little girl. Easier to believe she sprang fully formed from one of Master Matoya's cauldrons. We need to wait for a time to ensure a meaningful result. Be patient and keep watch for any intruders. So again, why'd you say yo mama?
I don't know if it's yo mama or yo mama. Because there's a comma there.
Yeah.
Or yo, mama. I don't know. His use of punctuation has me confused.
I think we've waited long enough. Nixies, return to my side.
Oh.
Thank you, little one. You did well.
Poor thing. Its essence has been irrevocably warped.
We're out of time. I must reseal the void gate.
They're coming through!
In the name of Alzadal III, I bar this door unto the void.
Well, that was a sharp lesson in the dangers of void gates.
And what of our experiment? I'd say the results speak for themselves.
The unprotected Nixie has suffered extensive etheric corruption. As Nidana observed, it's well on its way to becoming a void scent. The one merged with the talisman, however, appears unaffected. I sense no changes to its equilibrium. Rest now, little ones.
Graha's theory was correct then.
So it would seem. But while our second familiar was untouched by void energies, the talisman itself shows signs of degradation. It was, of course, originally designed to shield the soul from primal tempering. It stands to reason that etheric corruption of a different sort would affect it differently. We may need to modify the warding scale's design to account for the 13th's uniquely unstable ether.
You've said much of the Void's instability, but my imagination fails me. What manner of place is this broken world?
Ah, my apologies. I forget that not all of us spend our days sequestered in dusty archives. The 13th is a reflection of the source that was drowned in a flood of darkness. In Emmett Selk's own words, this tragedy was a result of the Ascians' attempts to force a rejoining. They erred in their haste, and made of that world a useless void. You remember Una Kalhai, the unusual child we met during our troubles with the Warring Triad. He explained the fate of the 13th thus. The champions of that ill-fated world used the stone known as auracite to contain the power of primals. But those self-same heroes were gradually corrupted by the auracite's bleeding energies, transforming into fiends with an endless hunger for ether. By the time anyone thought to oppose them, Light's strength had grown too feeble, and the balance of the 13th tipped into eternal darkness. It was Elidibus, as I recall, who rescued Unakalhai's spirit from his final battlefield. But I wonder if there were others whom the emissary saved from oblivion.
The bar made at the wandering stairs.
The server, Ciela, wasn't it? And you say she was another of Elidibus's pawns? I see. So Ciela, or rather Silva, was beguiled by the same dreams of heroism as Unakalhai. And what of your own experience? Will you tell us of what you observed during Noah's expedition?
Be a gamer, just be careful. Too much aether will make you pop.
I can picture it now. The sunless, Stygian expanse, infested with legions of ether-starved monstrosities. A void in every sense of the word.
What you have described in such lurid detail is exactly why I hesitate to encourage you.
Worry not, great Vritra. Our journey into the 13th is but the first leg of a longer voyage. A voyage that shall lead us to other reflections, to new mysteries and discoveries.
Food's on its
And
way.
I mean to be there every step of the way. But first, I must focus on refining the warding talisman.
Then I can begin work on constructing an artificial Atomos. Or I could if I had the relevant manuals to hand. Might I be so bold as to request access to the Satrap's family archives? Your Excellency?
Oh, yes. That can be arranged. I will speak to my officials upon our return.
We will see you back in the city then.
Get on. Once Nina is succeeded in replicating the mock Atomos, this door into the 13th will be ours to open. Will you be crossing the threshold alongside us? I realize this is more my endeavor than yours. To be honest, I've no interest in visiting the Void myself. But I will discuss this later. There is something I must do first. Why does everyone insist on being so secretive? I at least had good reason for not wanting to explain my Nixie ritual. Shall we proceed with our other preparations then? As we saw, the warding skill can be effective at protecting the bearer from other sources of etheric corruption. Nevertheless, the talisman's durability will need to be improved if it is to withstand the void's influence for a prolonged length of time. And I think that is a problem we can address without involving the brilliant but busy alchemist who created it. Who do we know who excels at this kind of structural augmentation? Garland Ironworks. An excellent suggestion. As I recall, Sid himself is no stranger to the void and its volatile energies. With his experience at the helm, I have every confidence that the Ironworks can strengthen the warding skill. Come, let us visit their operations in Ralgar's Reach and commission their best and brightest. Man, I'm just going everywhere with this patch. Oh, it just sends me there. Thank you. Oh, it's been a while since I've been here. Hort. Vamron, what brings you to the Ironworks? We have a commission for you. Your president, actual. Assuming he's available. Master Sid? Certainly. I'll see if he has a moment free. Yes, those are large archways. A pleasure as always. I hear you have a job for us. Heading into the void to find a lost dragon. That sounds almost pedestrian compared to your last adventure. Honestly, I don't know if you could say anything that would surprise me after meeting on in that bloody mess. Alright, let's take a look at this talisman of yours. You said there were signs of degradation? It seems some manner of corrosion has set in around a scratch on its surface, much as the void corruption seeped into Nero through his wounds. In which case, our best bet may be to simply prevent the skills from being damaged in the first place. And how might we achieve that? We have a coating agent that's for strengthening trinkets and the like, but I'd be wary of applying any compound which might upset the scale's delicate alchemical balance. Far safer to dress it in armor. We'll construct a protective casing, one utilizing metal alloys with high etherical conductivity, so as not to impede the talisman's primary function. A suit of armor, as you said. Nero has compiled data on the 13th, so we'll have him pitch in with the design just to be sure. If only it weren't such an ordeal to convince him to follow our safety protocols. I swear, I've never had such a reckless employee. In any case, we may need some time to untangle the particulars. Understandable. We know how busy your schedule is, and the final result will doubtless be worth the wait. The hard part will be ducking Jessie and her constant barrage of demands while we sneak about doing the fun stuff. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
I think we can leave the rest to Sid's capable hands. Let us return to the Great Works and see how Nera is getting on with the Mach Atomos. I have a feeling this is like the last thing.
Ah, hey, Stola. The adjustments are going well, I hope?
'Tis a lengthy process, but the end is in sight, yes.
That's wonderful news. I myself had some good fortune searching through the Satrap's private records. What I found was a transaction log dated around the same period as when Alzadal's legacy was built. It included a purchase list of highly exclusive alchemical components, and I knew I'd discovered the key to making the artificial atomos. I then visited the High Crucible to commission the materials. After I'd explained my requirements, I was beset by volunteers insisting I allow them to help with the entire project.
The usual reaction to someone forcing open a void gate is to run for the hills. Harnish academics certainly are a different breed.
The alchemists of old were cut from a similar cloth. The unknown held no fear for them. Indeed, they were ever eager to seek new knowledge, regardless of the danger.
And were you not also fearless, heedless even, in your determination?
My sire entered his dormancy before I was hatched. And so it was Ashdaya who kept my eggs safe and warm. It created a bond between us. Even long after I learned to fend for myself, I rarely strayed from her side. She was my guardian, my sister, my dear companion. And not a single day passes that I do not mourn her absence. No matter how deep the darkness, I would not surrender my search. I promised myself the time would come when we would once more take to the skies together. But I am satrap now.
The Radiant Host is here to serve, Your Excellency.
Nabdeen, what is this about?
Celestinian told us of your predicament. For centuries you have protected Rads at Han, never showing your true self, hiding behind a curtain and living only in service to the people. Your dedication meant more to us than your deceit, and so did we accept you as our rightful ruler. After all that you have sacrificed for this nation, did you imagine we would begrudge you your heart's desire? We survived the final days. We are a strong and proud people. We, the Radiant Host, will keep Thavnair safe in your absence.
What are you
I am
logging
grateful
into
for your
tomorrow,
loyalty
Gamma?
and for your encouragement. And yet,
Now you listen to me, Varshan.
Better be logging into some extinction curse.
You are wearing that face, after all. As I have told you before, you are a little brother to us all. And if you are family, then so too is your sister. We are there for you if you need us. But do not ask us to sit by and watch while you abandon a sibling you have ached to rescue for millennia.
We will succeed in opening the way. It is only a matter of time. All you need do is prepare to step through to the other side.
Your Excellency, I wanted to thank you for building the orphanage. It means so much that my sister and I will have a place to be together, safe and happy. And I hope that you and your sister can be together again too.
Take heart and protect them well. Such were the words I once said to you. And here I stand, failing to live up to them. If my heart is torn, I am fit to protect neither Ajdaya nor Radzadhan. My people, I have come to a decision. Vashan will depart Thavne for a time. My dragon self will remain in the palace, but only to conduct the satrap's most essential duties. While I am focused on controlling this vessel, there may be matters that escape my attention. I rely on you, my trusted friends, to watch over one another until I return.
Take care and fair fortune, little brother. Many tears would be shed should you come to harm.
I would not dare make you cry.
No, Phil's Walker's done that enough already. Don't need it. Don't need more of it. All right, y'all. That is gonna be it for me for tonight. Food is here, and we is hungry. So y'all have a good night. Tomorrow, we're going to be continuing Extinction Curse. See what madness happens there, and yeah. So yeah, see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a good night.